Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present War Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer James Gogue.
Guys, welcome. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. And yeah, guys, if it's Sunday night and you just heard that theme music, that means we're going to pick the brain and get the big fight preview from the, well, always insightful 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue. James, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. Got a big fight next week. Highly anticipated. I don't think it's going to do too good on the pay-per-view, but yeah, it's highly anticipated. Could this be the changing of the guard? We'll see. But, we'll talk a little bit about the fights last night, just go real brief. And I want to talk about something else about last night too, Joe, that I think will be interesting.
Very good. Are you talking about the shit sandwich on Showtime? Or are you talking about the mismatch in the main event on ESPN? Which one?
No, I'm talking about Showtime. Well, it's very important. Okay.
When you turn pro, a lot of kids. Yes.
Well, when you turn pro, okay, it matters who you sign with, okay? Because who you sign with, if you get with the right people, they're going to develop you the correct way. Okay, they're not going to. Now, you look at Showtime last night. Omar Juarez, a kid since he was a little kid, when I lived in the Rio Grande Valley, he signed with PBC and everything. And boy, did they fast track his career. Here's a guy, I thought should have been a slower, but by the time he was 8, 9, 10 fights, already put him in 10 rounds for that. And he lost his first fight to that Filipino guy, a rugged Filipino guy, and it showed that they pushed him too fast. That's one of my criticisms about PBC. They signed these guys like Gomez, that 154 pounder, and they're moving them way fast. Guys like Gomez maybe can handle it. Morrell, he's a superbly gifted 168 pounder. He can handle it because there ain't really a lot of good 168 pounders out there, and he's physically gifted. But you get guys like him, this guy like Juarez last night. You saw last night when he fought Barthélemy. If he was any type of prospect, he would have beat him. But you can see how not only him, but all the other PBC young guys. Remember what's that guy, Joey Spencer? That guy Joey they tried to make as the next Darren Van Horn.
Just got his ass whooped.
And he got his ass whooped. And now Omar Juarez, I seen it. A lot of other guys. They're just rushing him. Erickson Lubin, Vinny, Vito. That Mecca.
Vito. Yep.
Yeah.
You could go on and on, brother, going back to their original formation 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, listen, Joe. All these guys have no business getting in the spotlight real quick. Okay. Now you wonder why they don't have a lot of upcoming stars that are being developed. To take the place of these older guys like Danny Garcia, the Cholo brothers, Earl Spence. Who else did they got? I mean, Andre Berto and all them other Devon Alexander. They don't have no other upcoming stars, bloodline that will continue the strength of the company. Now you look at Top Rank, different story.
Yep. Every 4
years every 4 years they develop the new set of stars the correct way, okay, with the right matchmaking, the right development, and that's why they've been around for 50 years. PBC, they don't have that, And Omar Juarez last night, I'm like, God dang, they're rushing this kid, man. He should be fighting, even though that guy's past his prime. Barthélemy, Juarez ain't ready for this kid because he hasn't improved none he hasn't improved none since his pro fight on to now. But anyway, right, Joe, that's what I'm saying, man. They rush them guys, and you can see they don't have a lot of incoming influx of new talent that are going to be the next stars in boxing. They're just getting a bunch of retreads or a bunch of veterans like that Hector Garcia or Puello or all them other guys, man. They're trying. Rolly, he's another example. Okay.
Oh my gosh, he still doesn't know how to fight, Coach.
And look how fast they pushed him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to say that he's a world champion now. Give me a
Oh,
fucking
jeez.
break. Yeah.
He doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
honestly, that he may be the worst title holder in the history of our sport.
well, Joe, that just tells me they push it too fast, and these guys ain't ready. Plus, they're not getting developed in the gym correctly. Developing the right types of professional skill sets you need going up the ladder. So when you get to the stage, hey, man, you look like a finished product, or you can handle yourself on the big stage because you got skill sets, professional skill sets. Fundamental professional skill sets. But anyway, that's what I had to mention. Now, if you want to talk about the fights on BBC last night, go ahead, Joe.
Well, look, guys. And once again, if you listen to James and I, not you, Gogue, but James from the Boxing Source, we actually previewed this on Wednesday of last week. And we prepared you guys for what to expect. A shit show on Showtime. And a one-sided mismatch of the main event on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got, guys. That's what you got.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't anticipate, and this makes perfect sense, I'd like to talk about. Everyone is crying robbery in the Showtime main event. And, to be honest with you, it may be, Gogue, the worst premature stoppage I think I may have ever seen since covering this sport. And I've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see that stoppage from a customarily liberal ref who's usually he's considered a fan-friendly ref, and he's one of the best in boxing, the most highly regarded, and that's veteran Tony Weeks. Shocking. But when you look at how quickly he pulled the trigger last night, now it has everyone ultimately turning into Teddy Atlas, screaming cries of robbery and corruption. And you know what? It's impossible to defend. Gogue, did you see that last night?
Joe, I thought the stoppage was pretty bad. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? Why did he stop it so early? But I'm not in the ring, okay? Like I was talking to you about earlier, I'm not right there. Maybe when he got hit with a good shot, he saw Barroso, his eyes roll back right then and there, man. That's pretty much, you're concussed. You know what I mean? And any other further punches could, be damaging. So I'm not there in the ring to see what Tony Weeks saw up close and personal. He was a few feet away. He could see the guy's eyes. That's the first thing, Joe. When they look at the fighter, when they get hit with a good shot, I'm pretty sure they're trained to look at the guy's eyes. If the guy's eyes are kind of dilated, they're shaky and they roll back. That means his brain got shooken and everything, and any further punch could do damage. So that was to me, it was a very, very quick stoppage and everything. Because when he got hit with a good shot, Rolly tried to follow up with a couple other hard punches, and it really didn't land and everything. So, but like I said, I'm not the rough in the corner. He made that call, and in the eyes of everybody that watched the fight, 99% of them probably thought it was a bad stoppage. But it's boxing.
No, it was terrible, Gogue. Even for boxing. Like, think of the worst possible premature stoppage you've ever seen. Yeah, it far surpassed that. Where you even had the commentators complaining big time. Once again, and I will say this, and this is my theory, and once again, I've been huge supporter. And once again, I've been often criticized of being too much of a boxing sympathizer, where a lot of people accuse me of making excuses rather than taking a lazy man's method of thinking in terms of just throwing out the corruption, throwing out the robbery label. Like, I'll try to find a rational explanation, because I know a lot of these guys in the State Athletic Commission, both judges and referees, and they Yeah, I would never challenge any of these guys' integrity. If you think it's corruption, there's more often than not a rational explanation for everything. And my rational explanation for this, Tony Weeks, is this. Guys, in his last big assignment last year, he was the third man in the ring for Dave Morrell Jr. and Eidos Bursan. I forgot his name. Basanala, right? The Ukrainian fighter. Yerbasanala is his name. Eidos Yerbasanala. My apologies, guys. And Tony is usually considered a fan-friendly referee. Not quite Steve Smoger, but almost there. Keep in mind, this was the third man of the ring for Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. Giving Diego Corrales that benefit of the doubt, right? And letting him go through with that 10th round. Right? He's considered a very liberal ref who's willing to let the fighter in a championship opportunity let him go out on his shield. Well, he did that last year. And unfortunately, a lot of people accused him of not pulling the trigger soon enough. And it resulted in him going out on a stretcher and him getting into a coma. And it ruined his boxing career. And let's just hope he'll have a normal life eventually. I can tell that that's really weighed heavily on the soul and the conscience of Tony Weeks, a great guy, a guy that's given his life to the sport. Because last night, he looked shaken, like he was willing to pull the trigger, just like Buddy McGirt says, well, I would much rather be too early than a second too late.
Yeah.
Well, against Yerbasanala, he was more than a second too late. And you can tell it's shaking him. So because he can't perform at this level any further, he needs to do exactly what Robert Byrd did last year and step down. He can't do it anymore, Coach.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, that's his decision, or the Nevada Athletic Commission's decision. You know, I'm not into criticizing Tony. I know Tony. Tony's a good guy, and
he's a great guy. Yep.
And I'm not into, But anyway, Joe, here's the winner of this whole thing. Now they got a marketable opponent for Ryan Garcia. You got a guy that calls himself a champion. Watch, they're gonna use that belt, Rolly, that he's a world champion, and Ryan Garcia, when he comes back at 140, and they'll make it a big pay-per-view fight for the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Come on, man. You know how it is, Joe.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're watch. They'll use that.
All I can say is this. All I can say is, in all fairness, right? You look at the year that PBC and Showtime have been having up to this point, and you know what? They may have lost all credibility with this bullshit. Once again, this was a guy ranked 35 in the world, Ismael Barroso from Venezuela. Once again, getting favors by Gilberto Mendoza Jr. in the main event and fighting for a major world title, the #1 contender. How did he get there? And then when he was whooping the ass of someone whose first fight at 140 is getting a major world title shot, whooping his ass, and then this happens. You know what? Coach, why would Steven Espinoza purchase this shit sandwich on Showtime Championship Boxing?
I have no idea. You ask him. Maybe they ain't have other options out there, Joe. You know what I mean?
Oh, my gosh. Because once again, you look at the year they've been having, you could argue, not even an argument, this is by far the best start of any year that Steven Espinoza has had at Showtime since he actually took the reins of their sports programming. And now, no one's talking about Davis Garcia any longer. They're talking about what kind of bullshit they just saw last night.
Yeah, Joe. Boxing just digs a deeper hole, man. That's all it does. But the thing is the like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Garcia and Rolly, they're gonna try to sell that as a world title fight. And the real champions the real champion is going to be the winner of Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez. Okay,
or Regis Prograis,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yep, Subriel
Regis Prograis.
Matias. Yep.
Yeah, or Regis Prograis. Yeah.
Now think about how would Rolly Romero fare against any of those fighters at this time?
He get his ass whooped. That guy ain't got no business being in the ring with them guys, man.
It's disgraceful, guys.
Yeah,
Disgraceful. And honestly, after last night, yeah, I really don't want to talk about it any further, Gogue. But you know what?
Right.
Thank you for your insight, my friend.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we'll move on to the next subject of matter, which is the big fight next week.
Yep, guys, our main event of the evening tonight is going to be Gogue's big fight preview of Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. Your main event of the evening on ESPN pay-per-view, and it's going to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Gogue, you know what? You know what's a shame, Gogue? When you talk about the business of boxing, right? This is the real fight to determine supremacy at 135 lightweight division. But when you look at the pay-per-view sales, everyone is anticipating or projecting. And then you look at they're having a hard time selling out in Haney's hometown, the MGM Grand Garden Arena. When you compare that to the 136-pound Instagram championship several weeks ago with Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia at 136, this, you could say, is what's wrong with the health of the sport.
By the way, Joe, what are how many tickets have they sold so far at the MGM Grand? Do you know anything?
Not the exact number, but yeah, they're slashing tickets this week. The upper deck is still not filled.
How about the lower deck?
Yeah, it's mostly filled. Yeah.
Oh, the lower deck is mostly filled. So what's that, around 8,000-10,000?
Yep. That's
not bad. Surprised me.
You know what, brother? For a fight of this caliber, for all the marbles at 135 in Haney's hometown, that's not good for Top Rank or ESPN.
Yeah, Joe, but them guys were never big draws. I mean, come on now.
You're right about that. So why are they on pay-per-view? Well, it's all business, guys. Haney demanded $5 million.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's why ESPN is attaching the pay-per-view revenue stream to this out of necessity.
What do they predict on pay-per-view? I think they'll do under 100.
They said around 100. They said if they break even, they'll be extremely happy. But they're anticipating it doing anywhere from 80,000 to 120,000.
And they'll break even?
Nope. That's what they're anticipating. But they said if they break even, they'll be extremely happy.
So what's their break even? Like 150 to 200?
When you consider the size of the purse, probably about depending, because it's being offered. If everyone decides to purchase it via streaming app, ESPN Plus directly, then yeah, the breaking even point will probably be around 150, 160,000, which they're not anticipating they'll reach.
So they predict 100 to 120.
Yep.
I think they're going to do 80 to 100.
You're probably right, Gogue. You usually are about these things.
Yeah, I'm usually.
But that's a huge problem. This is obviously the better matchup, right?
Oh yeah.
And I guarantee you, it probably won't even do 1/10 of the sales that Davis Garcia just did.
Oh no.
Once again, there's no buzz for this entering fight week. And there was a ton of buzz for Davis Garcia. Huge problem, guys. So once again, if you want to send a message to the promoters and tell them that, hey, we're the real bosses of boxing, you guys need to listen to us because we know what we're looking at, then you better purchase this fight and don't stream it illegally.
Yeah.
Or else they really won't listen to a damn thing that you have to say from this point forward.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it. So, guys, with that said, we're going to round off the tail of the tape for the title challenger, future Hall of Famer, Vasily Lomachenko. Guys, he's going to come into the ring at age 35. He fights out of the southpaw stance, stands 5'7" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 65.5-inch reach. Originally from the Ukraine, now resides and trains out of Oxnard, California. He comes into the ring with a fine record of 17 wins, 2 losses, 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what is there to like about Vasily Lomachenko?
Oh, man. Well, what is there not to like about him? I mean, look at his career, Joe. Remember I talked about fast tracking prospects if you're not ready? Well, this guy you could fast track. He was ready to move. Okay. And he pretty much set the trend. Once people started seeing that, oh man, you can get a title shot within 5 fights. That's what all these promoters started doing. They said, to hell with it, man. I don't want to spend $200,000 to find out down the road the guy can't fight. I'm gonna rush these guys, but you can't do it with everybody. But a guy like Lomachenko, you could do. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, a guy with close to 300 amateur fights, only lost 1. What do I like about him, Joe? Multiple dimension fighter. He could press the action when he needs to, and he does it intelligently. He works angles, but beautifully when he presses the action. Beautiful combination puncher to the head, body, head. Okay, he throws every punch in the book. He'll hit you from every angle. When he has to box you, he could box you. Okay, Joe. He has great defensive skills. Head and upper body movement, blocks punches good. His footwork, Joe. That's number 1 for him. His ability to move in and out of range. Okay, his ability to pivot around you. He confuses you too, Joe. When he puts that pressure, then they'll take, once you try to time him coming in to land some shots, he'll take a couple steps out of range, in and out movement, I call it. And he does that enough in the early rounds when he fights just to confuse you, okay, to make you hesitant, to get you off rhythm, to get, to what do you call it? To not let you get into timing, to time him when he gets into range. But he, like I said, he applies intelligent pressure beautifully, with his footwork, angles, head and upper body movement, blocking punches. He has a multitude of different dimensions in his defense, in his offense. Oh, Joe, champ, look who he's fought. Everybody in the business. And he can punch too. At the lightweight division, he's shown the ability to hurt you. Even though he moved from feather to junior lightweight, now to lightweight, he's shown the ability to hurt you at all 3 weight divisions and everything.
Yep.
The only thing about Lomachenko, he's getting older. His last fight, you can see him slow down a bit. Okay.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. When he fought Jermaine Ortiz, he got hit more. He had a harder time dealing with this guy. Guys that he knew he usually dominated. He had to go 12 hard rounds, and plus in the early parts of the fight, man, I thought Ortiz was in control of the fight. Then the experience kicked in because Ortiz wasn't seasoned enough to fight a guy like this for a 12-round championship fight. And the back half of the fight, you could see Lomachenko's experience take over, and knowing how to win them close fights in the back half of a fight. But anyway, yeah, Joe, he's just a superb, one of my favorite fighters, superb all-around fighter. Some of the best footwork I've ever seen, him and Orlando Canizales, when it's attacking you at angles. When you attack, I always say when you attack a fighter at angles, you're in position to hit him, but he ain't in position to hit you. That's what I like about angles and everything. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. I think he's slipping. I think he's hit his peak. Now he's starting to go downhill. And I'm not saying it's not going to be a rapid dissension downhill. It could be a slow dissension. Okay. And like I talked about Canelo, he's slipping. It could be a slow dissension going downhill where his skills erode over time. And it could be the same thing with Lomachenko. Like I said, he's been in the game a long time. Yeah, he's been in the game a long time, Joe. So, you don't last, like Don Chargan used to tell me, you're only in your peak so many years. And after that, you start going slowly. The dissension starts going downhill over time. The erosion. Okay.
Guys, and if you want to see Gogue's checklist on what to look for when examining whether or not a fighter is slipping, go check out his article on Boxing News 24 or the virtual article on this channel regarding Canelo and Gogue's. According to Gogue, look off that checklist and apply it when you see this fight, Lomachenko versus Haney, right? Guys, that's always going to be my standard, is the Gogue checklist. And once again, Gogue, we want to thank you for devoting your time every single Sunday, because we learn an awful lot, brother. Before you actually continue, we rattle off the tail of the tape for the incumbent unified undisputed champion Devin Haney. Let's say hello to our friends in the chat, right? Want to give a big shout out to my brother Round One. What is up with you? Thank you for always being here for the coach, sir. And look at this troll right here. Followed me from another show. He doesn't even use his real name. He's such a sack of shit.
Go
Brother,
ahead.
you're as sharp as a marble. He says, Joe, you've lost all integrity. Ring IQ was right about you. The real fans won't accept PBC's bullshit. Look, dude, you're as sharp as a marble. My question to you is, would you even know the difference? If you're listening to that ass clown and fan, then continue doing it, because you won't learn anything on this channel, apparently. You're an idiot. And that's all I'm going to say. Go fuck yourself. Pardon my French. Guys, we want to welcome SSP Dive into the show. What's up, fellas? Interesting night, huh? Putting it mildly, guys. Let's just hope ESPN delivers a much better quality product during the pay-per-view, because they're going to be charging you for it, right?
Oh,
so I want to thank you for joining. Yeah, a fight that has no business being on pay-per-view, but nonetheless, guys, because of the business, it's being thrust upon us out of necessity. So if you guys want to continue with that kind of programming, please purchase the event, right? Guys, want to give a big shout out to my brother, Bruce, Gas Boxing, Jazz and More. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for always being a part of the show, and thank you for supporting the coach, my brother. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Bruce's channel. He's a gentleman. Also want to give a shout out to my brother, Jesus M. Saludos to you, my friend. Tell you what, having a great day today. I hosted a press conference in San Antonio for an event I'm going to be calling on Saturday night this weekend. It's going to be in front of 4,000 people, and I got to have dinner with Roy Jones Jr. How do you like that? I tell you what, in the presence of greatness, great time to be had. Thank you for joining the show. Also, my brother Kamikaze, thank you for being here, brother. We appreciate you being a part of the program and supporting the coach. Says, salute. I really can't call this fight. In my opinion, Haney versus Lomachenko is 50-50, maybe 55-45, favoring Haney. I wonder who the referee in charge is going to be. My money, guys, is on Jack Reese. One of the best refs in boxing, a proven guy, and, well, he does so much for the California State Athletic Commission. In my opinion, he's knocking it out of the park right now. Although, I will say this, boy, he really let Stephen Butler took a beating last night at the hands of Janabek Ali Manala. But that's for another show. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night, guys, on the War Week Radio Chats. But thank you for being here, brother. And once again, stick around. We're going to find out who Gogue picks or favors on Saturday night, right? Jesus M says, PBC boxers are social media personalities, not boxers. Well, at least Rolly is anyway. Ryan Garcia, he's still with Golden Boy, guys, as far as I know. Kamikaze also says this. It's really sad they had to rob a 40-year-old fighter for Rolly Romero, SMH. Once again, guys, we're going to give on this show, we're going to choose to give. No.
What does SMH mean? I always see that.
Shake my head in disapproval.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
well, I will say this. Once again, knowing Tony Weeks, and you know him as well, Gogue, we're not going to challenge his integrity. Yeah. We're going to choose to give him the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion, and a very logical explanation is he got shaken by his judgment putting one of his fighters in a coma last year. And that's obviously shaken him. Bruce says this, the worst stoppage since Weaver Dokes. Coach, would you agree with that? That was a bad one too, brother.
It's a pretty bad stop. I think it's worse than Weaver Dokes, man.
I think it's worse as well. In my opinion, the worst I've seen, maybe ever, Coach.
At least, see, Bruce, Weaver Dokes, they were heavyweights, okay? When they get hit, you can really hear it. These were lighter weight guys, okay? Different story.
Yo, that is true. That is true, my friend. That's a very good point. And I tell you what, though, Bruce, that was a terrible stoppage as well. Once again, Yimmy, stick around, brother. Don't take all my criticism with a grain of salt, brother. I know you're an idiot and you're ignorant, but you might actually learn something if you stick around and actually listen to a guy who's been in this business for 5 decades. Right? There you go.
Yimmy.
Well, he's from the UK. He doesn't even use his real name on this. His name is Jimbo, Jimmy. Yeah. He's calling himself Yimmy tonight. And he's as sharp as a marvel, obviously. Right? If he chooses to listen to a fan-driven site, a guy who's hoping and praying for the demise of an entire platform, thinking that would be good for the health of the sport. Yeah, keep on doing that, brother. But no, we urge you to stick around and listen to some real knowledge tonight.
Hey, Yimmy.
Hopefully
Yimmy.
you'll go ahead, sir.
Just listen and learn. That's all. Just listen and learn. Look, if you don't agree with me what I'm saying tonight, then you don't know boxing, man. All right. I've been doing this a long time, man. And over the years, I cultivated my skills. In each decade I've been in this. Okay, I cultivated my skills to get where I'm at. It's not like I watch YouTube videos or listen to other fans and everything. Jimmy, I came from an era, when boxing was real, the last golden age of boxing in the 80s, okay? When boxing was mainstream in the U.S., okay? Just as big as the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, okay? It's not like it is now where it's the niche sport in the USA, okay? I came from the era when fighters where champions were real, okay? Men were men, okay? I came from an era where there were only 2 belts. Now they got, 4 times 8, with the regular, the emeritus and all the other best belts. The W.A.W created and all that, So I came from an era when the Fab Four fought each other. Okay, they didn't talk back then. There was no Instagram. Okay, they just made the deals and fought each other. Okay, it was normal. The best fought the best. It was actually a
sport back then. Yep.
Yeah, the best fought the best. Okay, and it was normal. I came from an era when fighters fought through adversity. Okay, quit was never on their mind. Okay, they had too much pride in themselves. Okay, to not cheat themselves, cheat the fans. Okay, and just quit when the fight got tough and everything. But we're in a different era now. I understand that, and a different type of fighter that I deal with. I can see it right now. They're not as mentally tough as the ones I've had in the past. You know what I mean? But I deal with the guys, I do right now. I do the best I can to teach them about toughness, about mental toughness, about being resilient, about having a high degree of mental intestinal fortitude. All that stuff, which to me are the foundation of a fighter. Talent is talent. Okay. Like,
yep.
Like I said, give me a fighter with a little bit of talent, with a tremendous work ethic, and I'll show you a fighter that's going to develop. Okay, all right. Yeah, talent is one of the last things on my thing I look for in a fighter. The main thing is their work ethic, their toughness, their resiliency. Are they a resilient competitor? Do they have that high degree of mental intestinal fortitude? Okay, the mental side of which I look for in a fighter, man. Because if you don't have all that stuff, the talent don't mean nothing. I've seen so many guys with talent, but they didn't have it upstairs. So they evidently talent took them only so far. But The fighters, that's what I look for. The real fighters have that mental intestinal fortitude, that mental intestinal fortitude, that competitive resilience. They're resilient competitors. They're physically tough. They're well conditioned. Great work ethics. That's the guys I look for. And you talk to any old school coach, even these younger generation coaches, man, that are learning the business, they'll take guys like that over a fighter, a talented fighter that doesn't have all those mental characteristics I described. But anyway, was it Jimmy? Yeah, go ahead and listen.
Whatever it is this week. But I will say this though, brother. Stick around and hopefully you actually shut the hell up and listen. Right? Well, stop being a troll on the board. Just listen to someone who knows better, right? Yeah. And you might actually learn something. But if you're on YouTube just to hear yourself talk, well, you're on the wrong channel, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving on. We're moving on. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Go join Dante's Boxing Nation. That's a perfect excite for you if you're. If you just want to be heard.
That's it. That's it. Once again, I think a lot of these fans are on YouTube Boxing Community for that reason, right? Not the ones on this chat, right? These guys actually want to learn more, and that's why they're tuned into you, Gogue. We want to thank you for hanging with us. We just have a little bit more to go. Hold on. Want to welcome our brother Juice. Salute, Mr. Aaron, Coach James Gogue. Another day kicking it with the boxing historians. Yes, yes. And thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you for always supporting the coach. My brother Sid UK, always insightful. Want to welcome you to the show. He says, it was a fix, I want to know if Ryan or Tank fight him next because that's an easy belt for either of them. Yeah, for any of the current title holders. I will say this regarding Ryan Garcia. You will not, from what you were talking about and just describing to Yip shit or whatever his name is, Gogue, I promise you this, you will not see Haney nor Lomachenko get on their knee and quit in this fight. Not like Brian Garcia.
Yeah. I never seen Haney in a tough fight, so I know.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. I tell you what, this is going to tell us a lot about the character and the skill set of Devin Haney, right?
Yeah.
But we'll move on, guys, and want to thank you for joining us, Sid. Also, my brother Joseph Brown from Philly. Salute, Joseph, and Coach James. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us, sir. SSP Diving says, you're Bassan a lot. Thank you. It eventually came to be, brother.
You're Bassan.
It's been a long day. Yeah, you're Bassan a lot from the Ukraine. Want to welcome here to there. Shame that Sims versus Akhmadov is getting no attention. It was a great fight. Yes, it was. And you know what? It deserves to be held in much higher regard and be spoken of more often. And that's what we should be talking about this evening. Instead, we're talking about the shit sandwich in the main event. Terrible. Terrible. And Joseph Brown seconds that. He says, Showtime was having a good card up until that main event. Kenneth Sims fight was a great fight. And the main event ruined everything. Yep, it does. And did you see what I mean? Everyone, it's like it almost erases all of the credibility that PBC and Showtime had this year. Right.
And I heard Rolly was. I just saw the end, but I heard Rolly was winning. Rolly was losing the fight. God.
He was getting his ass whooped by someone who's knocking on heaven's door, brother.
Yeah,
like that guy. If he's 40 years old, I'm Spartacus, brother.
Yeah,
come on now. I want to welcome a gentleman who was in Stockton, California on press row last night. G Funky Boxing. Greetings, Joe and Coach Gogue. Greetings to you, my friend. If you haven't already, guys, please go subscribe to our brother G Funky. Hope you had a great time last night. Can't wait to see or hear what you have to say about everything, brother.
Hey, G Funky, what was the crowd? What was the gate like over there? I like to know how good the gate was because I want to see, Gabe Flores was the attraction, okay? I want to see if they're still supporting them. I know they're not going to support them like they did before because of them 2 losses, but I'd like to know how the crowd was.
Well, I tell you what, they were very kind to him in matchmaking because they gave him a layup and he knocked out this dude in 30 seconds. Yeah. Can you believe Gabriel Flores, a guy with no power at 130?
Yeah.
Jeez. Here there is a question for you, Coach Gogue. He says, Coach, would it have made sense to put that fight card in New York instead? No. I think he means Haney Lomachenko, I'm assuming. Okay.
Yeah.
Would it have made sense to put that fight more in New York, where they could have tapped into that Ukrainian fan base, but because it's on pay-per-view, Coach, would you explain why it's held at the MGM Grand with that big casino site fee instead?
Yeah, they probably got more money, guaranteed. They got a guaranteed site fee from the MGM Grand to have the fight there. You know what I mean? I don't. In New York, there ain't no guarantee. I don't think you got to go by ticket sales. And to me, the guarantee was probably was a lot better than what the ticket sales would have been. So, it's all business. You go where the money's at, man. If some Indian casino in South Dakota offered more than the MGM Grand, I guarantee you Aaron would have took it there. You know what I mean?
And there it is, guys. And there it is. And not to mention, Gogue, if you put it in MSG, do you know how much it costs to rent out that place for an evening?
Oh, God. New York is the worst place to do business. All these extra fights, all these extra fees they tack on. Oh man, yeah, worse. Just like California's becoming.
G Funky, and thank you, and I hope that sums it up for you here to there. Thank you for your question, my friend. And guys, if you have any more questions for the coach, please let him fly. G Funky says this, very insightful. And I want to get your thoughts on his comment, Coach. If Haney wants to continue making this kind of money, he cannot choose to hold over 50 times during 12 rounds.
Oh, without a doubt. Hey, man, he's getting good money for this, okay? But if his pay-per-view numbers if his pay-per-view numbers stink and he puts on a bad performance, like, nobody's going to want to follow this guy because he's not exciting. Boxing is entertainment. The way you entertain your fans is by putting on good fights, by looking electrifying, by knocking people out. That's what people want. That's the number one marketable factor in boxing is knockouts. That's what sells tickets. That's what puts asses in the seats. Now, if Haney goes in there and holds and grabs and all that other shit, and the fight's boring, who the hell wants to? He's going to turn off a lot of fans. Who the hell wants to watch that guy?
That's it. I couldn't have summed it up any better than that, Gogue. We love your candor and we love your insight, my friend. Never change to please anyone, brother. And we want to welcome Mad Dog H. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being here for the coach. And Kamikaze also seconds that. He goes, man, I really hope the referee in charge for Haney Lomachenko doesn't allow him to hold 50 times. Look, if it's Jack Reese, he will not allow it.
I guarantee you Kenny Bayless is the ref, okay?
Oh, if it is, brother, I tell you this, I am not going to purchase it for that reason. Because you already know what the outcome's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
You already know, right? Guys, that's a huge disclaimer. Pay attention to that. The assignment of ref is going to be a huge factor in determining the outcome and the way this plays out.
Yeah, right? It always does.
Yep, there it is, guys. Want to welcome Tycho TV. Thank you for always supporting the coach, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Also, welcome to the show, Pranay. We appreciate you being here and always supporting the coach. He says, Coach, do you think Haney's lack of power gives Lomachenko more incentive and courage to close the distance and put on the pressure? With Tio, it was harder because of his explosive power at 35. Very good point. Gogue, what say you, my friend?
Of course, if you ain't got no power, you ain't gonna get the guy's respect. You ain't gonna get the guy's attention. Of course, he's gonna apply pressure more. Assertively. He ain't gonna be more cautious because he knows that fear factor is not there. That Haney can't hurt him.
And there it is, brother. Very good points. Thank you for joining us, Pranay. Also, want to welcome back the boxing scholar, sharp as a marble. Oh, boy. I tell you what, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. And that's all I'm going to say.
Who's he talking about? Sharp as a marble.
Yeah, that dipshit Yimmy, whatever he's calling himself this week. Yeah. And he also says this, why do boxing fans debate content creators with other people's talking points? Because they can't think for themselves, obviously, brother, and they're not interested in learning more.
Yeah, man, I'm not. Hey, look, Joe, I just say what I say. If you agree with me, hey, God bless you. If you don't agree with me, I don't take it personally or nothing. You know what I mean? Maybe my site, maybe what I'm saying is something it's not for you. So, but I tell the truth, baby. All right, I speak facts. All right,
That's it.
Not theories or or all these other stuff. I speak the truth. Okay.
Now, once again, guys, here's the difference. This is from Coach Gogue. Real boxing knowledge from someone who cultivates talent in this business and has been doing it during 5 decades. Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, he doesn't read shit in a book and can describe it to you. He's actually been in the Sistine Chapel and has seen how gorgeous that marble ceiling looks in person. He can tell you the way it smells in there.
Yeah.
You can't get that from just reading a book.
Oh,
That's
man.
Gogue. That's Gogue.
You folks out there have no idea the pains and heartaches I've been through in this business in the last since the 80s, man. They have no clue on the pains and headaches I've been through this, and you learn. Those pains and headache experience. Your best teachers out there, man. It ain't the times where you had your best moments, but the times where you had your least best moments that you had your best education in the business. And like I said, you can't gain this experience watching YouTube videos, reading books. Okay, it comes from experience, and experience you got to go through. You got to go through that fire. All right, you got to go through that fire, just like fighters got to go through that fire. Okay, to become champion. Okay, same thing as people in the business. They got to go through those tough times and learn and grow and mature and cultivate their skills like I did over the years.
I'll tell you what, Gogue, we're all the wiser as a result of it from listening to you every Sunday. Thank you, brother, for doing what you do, my friend. And thank you for being our boxing scholar. We also want to welcome Teach to the show. Thank you for being here for the coach. Also, my brother James, thank you for being here. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to The Boxing Source. And if you decide to listen to, his episode this Sunday night, his weekend review, you get ready to hear me screaming at an ignorant fan. Yep, and that's it. My apologies to James and anyone who listened to that show. I'm usually usually more composed than that, but this really pissed me off. Really, really pissed me off. So anyway, brother, I also want to welcome my brother Hy-Vee. Question, Coach. How would you instruct a fighter to close the distance against a fighter like Devin Haney? I guess that would be as good a time as any. So what are Vasyl Lomachenko's keys to victory against Devin Haney, sir?
He's going to have to cut out. Haney's going to box. Use the ring. Use his feet. He's got great feet, Haney. He could move. He could box and move for 12 rounds, okay? A lot of guys box. They'll try to box and move, but as the fight goes on, by the 6th, 7th, 8th round, their legs start going out. But not Haney. He's athletically gifted with good feet to stay at distance and range and use every inch of the ring to his advantage to keep you at range and distance. So Lomachenko knows how to apply intelligent pressure, okay? Good footwork, okay? Shuffling in there, head movement, high guard defense, okay? Moving in and out of range, not to get hit by those counters, okay? Intelligent pressure is, I define as, like I've said on the past shows, ability to close that distance without taking a lot of incoming. He's going to have to avoid that jab. He's got to neutralize Haney's jab. Haney's jab is fast and quick, and it's consistent, okay? He uses it for 12 rounds. That's his number one weapon, is that jab. He's got to find a way to neutralize that jab when he's closing the distance. And you don't think Lomachenko has seen a guy like Haney? He's seen him shitloads of times in the amateurs. Okay, guys that move and box you from range, that try to keep it long and safe. Okay, he knows how to deal with a guy like Haney, man. And like I said, it starts with footwork, head movement, moving lateral, side to side, and trying to. Like I said, you're gonna have to make Haney a stationary target on the ropes or in the corners. And when you do that, he ain't gonna be able to use that jab. He ain't gonna be able to use his feet to keep that distance and everything. Then once you get him in the corner, that's when you got to put the combinations together Haney's physically gifted, good reflexes. I'd hit the body first, then go back to the head. Okay, I wouldn't go for the head first because if you go for the head, he'll make you miss and it'll frustrate you. But the body always stays there. It's never a moving target. Like it's not as elusive like a head target. You got to hit that head. You got to hit that body first. To keep that head more stationary, then you go back upstairs. That's what I would do. But I'm pretty sure the dad, who's a great trainer, knows his son inside and out, trained him since he was a little kid. I'm pretty sure they got a good game plan. Lomachenko, like I said, this ain't the first fucking time he's seen a style like Haney. He's seen this shit shitloads of times in the amateurs, and that's what gave him the familiarity. Okay, to have a chance to upset Haney. Because he's going to be the underdog, I'm pretty sure, Joe.
Yep. I tell you what, I'm going to look up the odds in just 1 second, but let's move on, guys. We still have a long way to go and a very short time to get there. So, let's say hello to our dear friend Frank Ortiz. Good of you to join us and support the coach, sir. Says, hey, Joe, Coach Gogue, can't believe I'm late. I've been waiting for this episode for a very long time. Saludos, mi amigos.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for joining us, sir. And almost feels like we're just getting started. I'm catching my second win, my friend. Juice says this. Look, last thing I'm going to mention about this, guys. He says, Yimmy is a sad, brainwashed fan. He chooses to combat instead of listening to people who have experience in the sport. He chooses to engage in and endorse. Brother, that's a sad truth. And once again, that's a last. Hopefully he's gotten the point. We're not going to bring it up any further. We're just going to move on
Jimmy.
With giving.
God bless him.
God bless him. I tell you what. God bless him. We also want to welcome Platinum Fights. He says, it's okay to disagree with Gogue, but you got to respect him in his knowledge. That's why I come here. And thank you for being here tonight and supporting the coach, my friend.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Yeah, look, you might not agree with everything I'm going to say, man, but I'm just going from my experience, you know what I mean? And try to, like I said, you got to see the reality of things. All right? You got to see the reality.
That's it. We also want to welcome Cuck Lonzo. Who the hell is that on your avatar, brother? That's not Georgie Animal Steel. That's too white. I don't know who that is. King Kong Bundy? Anyway, he says, Coach and Joseph, welcome to the show, sir. Good of you to be here. Kamikaze also says, Ryan Garcia has talent, but how he did perform versus Tank, well, Coach Gogue was spot on. He usually is, my friend. He usually is.
Oh, yeah.
Also want to welcome our brother Tyrese Bowie to the show. He says, Loma for the win, brother.
Okay.
We'll see. That's why they fight the fights, guys. In the theater of the unexpected. Anything in canon often does happen. G Funky says this, Coach Gogue. Yep, the Stockton Auditorium was almost sold out. The crowd was electric.
Sold out or papered. G Funky. Woo! You got to find out if you find out what the gate is, okay? Because a lot of times, they'll give free tickets away just to paper the place. You know what I mean? But you got to. I like Don Chargan always used to tell me. What's the gate? He didn't give a shit about the ticket sale. I mean, the attendance. It's always what was the gate, the money. All right.
That's it, guys. That's it. And once again, it's public record, guys. You can contact the California State Athletic Commission, and they will give you those numbers, right? They'll tell you how many tickets were released, how many were paid for, and what the gross take was, right? That's public record. Thanks to the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act, right? Also, we want to welcome our brother, Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being here and supporting the coach. And we want to recommend everybody, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Brother Pound for Pound, please. Thank you very much for being here, sir. Pernay says this, Coach, in regards to slipping, Coach Breadman said it best. Both Canelo and Loma are supremely talented, still elite, but the slippage is more about them having to grind more to win fights. Is that a product? Well, hold on. Is that a product of having to grind more because they're slipping or because they're moving up in weight, Coach?
Combination of both. When you move up in weight, you usually don't, a lot of guys don't take that power with them. Or, you know what I mean? The guys are bigger and stronger. And and they could take your punch better, that means if they could take your punch better, that means you're going to have to work harder to get that win. You know what I mean, Joe?
That's it.
But to me, like I said, when you start getting hit more, you're not dominating your opponent like you are. You're not as crisp and sharp as you were before. You're not pulling the trigger as swiftly like you were before. All that stuff right there. It's telltale signs of a fighter being what do you call it? Shot and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not shot, slipping. Yeah, a telltale sign of a fighter. Difference between a fighter being shot and a fighter slipping. A fighter that's slipping, you can see those, the erosions of his skill. A fighter that's shot is when he gets hit on the chin, no resistance. Okay, he can't take a punch no more. His equilibrium is damaged permanently.
That's it, guys. And once again, thank you for the comment. And Pranay, we hope that clears it up for you, or at least gives you a little added insight. Because Stephen Breadman Edwards, boy, he's a very sharp guy and an excellent trainer. And we wish him nothing but the best. He's a true credit to the sport. Also want to welcome my brother, Carl the Crocodile Hunter Hansen. Salute Joe and Coach Gogue. Australia runs the Philippines. Congratulations to your boy Maloney for getting his first world title. Congratulations indeed. And I tell you what, that was a tough fight. Australasia is no joke. And you know what? Third time's a charm. So congratulations, brother. Let's see. I think I've got a couple more. Also want to welcome from the UK, our brother Toby Bartlett. Salute Joe, Coach Gogue, and the chat. And there it is. Let's move on though, guys. We've got still a long way to go, guys. We want to thank you all for joining us. And here we go. We're going to rattle off the tail of the tape for the incumbent champion and the undisputed lightweight and lineal champ, Devin the Dream Haney. Guys, he's going to come to the ring at age 24. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'8" tall in the center of the ring. Fights behind a 71-inch reach. Wow. Originally from San Fran, California, he now resides and lives or works out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He comes into the ring with a perfect record, 29 wins, 0 losses, 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what are the pros and cons of Devin the Dream Haney?
Pros is athletically gifted. Like I said, Joe, he's got great feet. He has the ability to, box you on his toes from round 1 to round 12 and not get fatigued, not slow down. He has the ability, he's got great feet, great athleticism to move in and out of range, box in circles, stay off the rope, stay out of the corners and everything. His jab is his bread and butter, fast, sharp, crisp, accurate, and consistent, Joe. He doesn't abandon his jab. Okay, after 4 or 5 rounds, it's consistent from round 1 to round 12. And Joe, that jab sets up his offense. That right hand, that sneaky right hand, the uppercuts, and the looping overhand rights he likes to throw. But he likes to keep everything at range and everything. When he gets inside, he smothers you and ties you up and everything. He, once in a while he'll hit you with some body shots, but it's not consistent because he knows at safe distance is where it's safe at, where he's the safest at and everything. And if he can use his feet to control you and pepper you with jabs all night, and which is going to set up everything in his offense. Okay. He'll do it and everything. Safety first. To him is preservation, getting hit as little as possible, executing the sweet science, which he does beautifully. Okay. Yep. And like I said, his feet, though, his ability to keep you at range and distance the whole fight, and to control you with that jab and everything. Okay. And he's going to have the size advantage over Haney too. Have you ever seen him in a press conference? You see how much bigger he is physically than the guy. And if they do those special weigh-ins for him, for that motherfucker, where he gets weighed in at 4 in the morning, you know what I mean? For the official weigh-in, so he could have 40 hours to recuperate, you know what I mean? Hydrate, you know what I mean? like he did in his past fights, that's another thing that's going to give him an advantage. I don't know what the rules are, Joe. I don't know what the contract says for this fight. Are they going to have it normal, like they should do at 2 or 3 o'clock? You know what I mean? Have the weigh-in, and or are they going to have a special weigh-in for him where he gets to weigh in at 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning, so he gets more time to recuperate and hydrate and put on more weight, so he could take those punches of Lomachenko. Okay, to me, that's a big factor. I don't know what it is, but the size factor to me is going to neutralize all that fast, intense pressure Lomachenko is going to put on him and everything. So we'll see.
Well, I tell you what, that's very insightful, Coach, and we will see, in fact, on Friday. And those two factors are going to be huge in determining the outcome of this fight. The time of the weigh-in. Okay, and my guess is that this isn't Jojo Diaz he's fighting. This is Vasyl Lomachenko. My guess is they're going to have a natural weigh-in at a reasonable allotment of time, right?
Well, Joe, he's a champion, so he could dictate the times. I mean, he could dictate the terms.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. We'll find out on Friday, guys. And once again, I'll call around tomorrow. I'll try to find out early. But that's very, very important.
2 factors. Who the ref is, which I think is going to be Kenny Bayless. That's what I'm guessing. And if they're going to do this special weigh-in for him to give him extra time to recuperate, okay, to put on more weight and hydrate and all that stuff. Because, he's a champion, so he could dictate them terms and everything,
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. Let's pray that that's not the case, because that seems like a foregone conclusion in my mind if those 2 things happen in Haney's favor.
Oh, yeah. If those factors, the referee factor and that weigh-in factor, the time of the weigh-in factor is in place, oh, man, I'm going for Haney, no doubt. Yeah.
Yep. It's hard not to, Coach. Very hard not to. You want to know what the odds are, sir?
Was it 2 to 1, 3 to 1?
Very good. According to the Bet MGM, the straight-up victory line is a minus 250 for Devin Haney and a plus 200 or 2 to 1 betting underdog for Vasyl Lomachenko.
Okay.
Do you agree with those odds, sir?
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with them and everything. I would put it 3 to 1 for Haney if he gets the ref he wants, and the what do you call it? In that weigh-in and everything. Yeah.
And there it is. And it's hard not to agree with that, brother. Our brother, the boxing source, says, look, I'm more concerned about if Haney can limit the movement of Lomachenko. We saw Jermaine Ortiz be able to move with Loma, but Ortiz is familiar with Loma. They were sparring partners. If Haney can limit the movement, then he can win. Do you agree with that, James? And what are your thoughts on how does he have to move? How does he have to limit and cut off those escape routes of Lomachenko?
Escape routes? Haney's the one that's going to be running.
No, you're absolutely right about that, brother. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, Lomachenko's going to have to cut off his escape routes, okay?
How does that done, sir?
He's talking about when he attacks you at angles. When Lomachenko, one thing Ortiz did, if you watch the fight, he neutralized Lomachenko's angles. Every time Lomachenko tried to get an angle on him, like when he pivoted to his right, well, what did Ortiz do? He pivoted to his right to neutralize that angle. See, when Lomachenko, get it in your mind, fans, when Lomachenko pivots to his right, well, Ortiz had familiarity with that. So what did he do? He pivoted to his right to neutralize the angle. Okay? When you do that, okay, you're not at a disadvantage. And Lomachenko doesn't have that angle on you. But when you pivot at the same time he pivots, when he pivots to his right, you pivot to your right. It neutralizes the angle. That means he's not at a disadvantage. He's not giving Lomachenko. If he does that, Haney, if he pivots at the same time to his right, that Lomachenko pivots to his right, he's going to neutralize that angle. He's not going to give Lomachenko that opportunity to attack. Okay, and he'll be able to defend himself too. Okay, because he doesn't have that angle disadvantage, I call it. I mean, just watch the tape. You'll see. If you see when every time Lomachenko tried to pivot, Ortiz neutralized it by pivoting to his right. You know what I mean? So that's the he's got to be alert when he sees Lomachenko putting that pressure and he's starting to take that angle to his right. Well, pivot around him. Yeah, pivot.
He's very proficient in that, Coach.
Who's that?
Haney's got very, very good footwork. Yeah. Very quick at pivoting. Yeah.
But the thing is, he's got the reaction time. He's got the athleticism and the reflex to see it, then react. Yep. Okay.
24-year-old spriteful youngin versus the old man of the lightweight division at 35.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yep, tall order indeed. Yep, 35.
Holy fuck. Hey, maybe it's 4-1 now.
Or maybe they're just so done not having very much action, and so they're shrinking the odds to entice people.
Yeah, that could be it, Joe. That's it.
I think it very well may be. Want to welcome some rando to the show. Loma versus Haney, straight fire. Yes, please purchase this pay-per-view. It's going to be a great event, and once again, I won't get to watch it live. I'm going to be calling the event at the Techport Arena from San Antonio, Texas. So you guys are going to have to text me during the event. Tell me all about it, guys. But I'll tell you what, I'll be there in spirit. I want to welcome MFB to the show. MFB is right. MF Boxing. Loma gonna smash this punk kid. Well, I tell you what, that's a tall order indeed, my friend. Tall order indeed. Coach Gogue, how many successful 35-year-olds have you seen in the lightweight division at this level?
Oof. Think.
I can't tell you what. If Loma is successful in defeating the young man, the undefeated young master, that would put him in legendary all-time great status, guys. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Or, Coach, is Haney, is he a proven guy yet from his resume? I understand he's the lineal champ and undefeated, right? Undisputed. But consider his resume. Would you be shocked if Lomachenko won a decision or knocked him out?
I wouldn't be surprised. Why? Because I haven't seen Haney in a tough fight yet.
There it is, guys. There it is. Once again, the verdict's still out on Devin the Dream Haney. But if he beats this gentleman, this future Hall of Famer, even at 35, what's going to tell us a lot about Devin the Dream Haney from this point forward.
Yeah.
Right? There it is. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother Peter Von Arch. Salute Joseph and Coach Gogue.
Joe not only beats him, but how he beats him. If he's boring and just the typical Devin Haney fight.
Yeah, look, if he looks like Vladimir Klitschko beating Vasyl Lomachenko, or who is the former Olympian? Vladimir Klitschko versus anybody, put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be impressed. The verdict will still be out on Devin the Dream Haney.
You got to be excited, Joe. Winning ain't good enough. You got to look good. Bernard Hopkins told me that.
Win. How you win. That's it. Bernard. Oof. Boy, an all-time great there, man. Jeez. Yeah, you could have plopped B-Hop in any era, and he would have done well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anthony Manzano, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach. He says, Coach, how do you feel about Tony Weeks? He might need to get penalized for missing that huge call during the fight and getting huge pay-per-view fights taken away from him.
We might.
In my opinion, I think he needs to retire. That's my guess.
Yeah, he might.
Jesus Sem says cons of Haney. He's a donut fighter, guys. He doesn't like to fight in the inside.
Who?
Devin Haney.
Oh man, nah. He likes to smother you and tie you up. That's why I said if you got Kenny Bayless as the ref, he's gonna let him do it.
There it is. There it is.
Every time he gets inside, Kenny Bayless he ties up Lomachenko. Kenny Bayless, he doesn't let you make you fight out of the clinches. He doesn't make you police yourself. He'll automatically break you up, split you up, and that'll give Haney a chance to get that range and distance, and he'll force Lomachenko to reset himself. All right.
Yep. There it is. We wanted to welcome HLD to the show. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here for the coach, and thank you for being here for this preview of Haney versus Lomachenko. I tell you what, brother. We're already surpassed 71 minutes, right? So, Coach, do you want to move on? That was it, Boxing Source. Thank you. Klitschko versus Alexander Povetkin. That looked like WWF action to me, brother. That was a grapple fest, and it was miserable to watch.
Yeah.
Miserable to watch, right? I tell you what, Coach, have you given your keys to victory for Devin Haney?
Yeah, just
you did by answering that foot position question, right?
Now that take away his angles by pivoting with him, keeping it long range, keeping it range and distance, executing that jab like he always does, and that's going to set up everything else in his arsenal. I throw some body shots if to slow him down, to slow that pressure to slow down that pressure Lomachenko is going to put on him. Stay off the ropes, stay out of the corners. Don't be a stationary target. Simple, basic boxing 101, the sweet science. Keep everything in the center of the ring. When you're in the center of the ring, you got the most real estate to operate where you could use those legs, effectively to keep that distance with that long jab and everything. But it's fucking, man, shit. It ain't that hard. Figure this shit out.
Oh, Chingow, brother. Toby Bartlett also says, get your thoughts on this, Coach. He said, this is Haney's last fight on the Top Rank contract. And Bob would love to keep the belts on Top Rank. Loma by robbery is a possibility. Dude, come on. Come on, guys. Come on.
I didn't know it was Haney's last fight under Top Rank.
Well, I can say this, win or lose, if this pay-per-view tanks and doesn't make ESPN or Top Rank money, they're not going to go out of their way to extend that contract for Devin Haney.
Yeah, I wouldn't. They didn't do it for Crawford. Why? Why would you want to keep, even though the guy's, the champion and he's talented? Well, why keep losing money on a guy like that when you got other fighters you could put the money into that can make money? It's business. Nothing against Haney, it's just business. That's why, like I said, Haney, he's not only got to win, he's got to look good. Okay, he's got to be impressive.
Be careful what you say, Coach, because fans might interpret that as you being a hater, sir.
Whatever.
I can't even say that with a straight face.
Fans got to realize winning ain't. Bernard Hopkins told me this back in Big Bear Lake. I'm going to tell you fans again, okay, that if you haven't heard the story. Back in 1997, we were up there training in Big Bear Lake with Bernard Hopkins, Larry Goose's gym. He just became middleweight champion. He was defending his title for the third time against Glenn Johnson. And after watching one of his sparring sessions, he came out of the ring, came up to us. And he goes, "Winning ain't good enough. You got to look good, okay? All right, you got to look." And that's stuck in my mind. Winning ain't good enough. You got to looking good. You got to look impressive. All right, you got to shine, baby, when it's time. All right, and Haney, there's a lot of criticism on him because he's winning, but he's not entertaining the fans. He's not getting everybody excited. Okay, he's not knocking nobody out. That's what they want to see, Joe. All right, and that's what I'm saying. If he goes out there and stops Lomachenko and he does it impressively, oh my God, you're gonna see everybody's perception of Haney change. But if he goes out there and puts 12 rounds of 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, shit. And people are gonna they might buy that pay-per-view, but they might buy that pay-per-view, but by round 8 or 9, they might turn it off, okay, and go watch the NBA playoffs. All right.
And there it is, brother. Thank you so much for the comment, brother. Here's something I want to get your thoughts on. Khalid says, Coach, I rewatched the Devin Haney Jojo Diaz fight. That Devin won't beat Loma. Defense looks worse against southpaws, and his jab was non-existent. Do you see this being a factor? Once again, you've got the best southpaw at 135, and Devin the Dream Haney by far his biggest assignment to date.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, when you're fighting a southpaw, it's hard to be effective with the jab because the angle of the fighter your opponent and everything. Okay, you're not standing orthodox where it's easier to get hit with the jab. You know, you hit Loma's lead hand is, you know, pretty much in the it's what do you call it, in the way of trying to land them straight jabs and everything. Okay, especially if he has a high guard defense, it's going to be damn near very, very hard to hit Loma with a jab consistently and control that range and distance and everything. And Loma, like I said, you think he hasn't seen that? A style like Haney, he knows how to, he knows how to attack him. He knows the defensive tactics he needs to do to neutralize that jab and everything. But when you're fighting the southpaw, yeah, it's hard to be effective because that a southpaw's lead hand is especially if it's in the high guard defense, it's blocking. It's in the way of landing the straight left jabs you're trying to land. Yeah. And Haney, he's a rhythm fighter. You know, he likes to get in rhythm by his footwork and using that jab effectively, you know, controlling that range of distance. And if he can't get into rhythm using that jab, yeah, he's going to have problems with that pressure of Lomachenko.
Very well said. Very well said. Guys, we're at the home stretch now. Coach Gogue, drum roll, please. It's time for Gogue's official prediction for Devin Haney versus Vasil Lomachenko for all the marbles at 135 this Saturday night from Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Coach Gogue, who do you like in this fight and why?
If they have Kenny Bayless and as a referee, if they have Kenny Bayless as a referee and them bullshit fake weigh-ins at 8 a.m. where it's going to give him time to hydrate, to get bigger and stronger, to recuperate, I'm going with Devin. Okay. He's going to be the team bigger, athletic. He's bigger, athletic. He'll be able to handle that with that extra size and that extra size and weight on him. He'll be able to handle that tough pressure. He'll be able to push Lomachenko off him when he gets close. He'll be able to handle those punches of Lomachenko a lot better. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Depends on when they have the weigh-in. And he'll be fresh and strong to box at range of distance for 12 rounds like he did against Kambosos, both fights and everything. And to land them fast, sharp combinations. Okay, that straight right hand he's going to land down the middle. Or the looping it over the top, or the uppercuts. He's got to hit Lomachenko with some body shots to get his attention. Okay, to put some fear in him. Okay, to kind of like let some air out of the tires, so he doesn't constantly put that heavy pressure on you. Okay, you got to put some fear in him to make him hesitant on trying to come in. Haney, but to me, Haney, he's got great set of legs, and he'll be able to box him, I think, at range and distance. His jab, like what's his name said earlier, it's harder to be effective. It's harder, when you're fighting a southpaw, especially a good southpaw like Lomachenko, to land that jab effectively. Okay, yep. And when you can't land that jab effectively, you're not in the rhythm as good like when you're fighting a right-handed fighter. But you still could, use that jab as a distraction to keep him at range and to set up that right hand right down the middle. Okay, to set that right hand right down the middle. What I would do with Lomachenko, I'm just thinking about this right now, just like Tank Davis did with Garcia. He targeted that body with straight left hands a lot. Okay, it's easier to hit a right-handed fighter that's taller than you with straight left hands down the middle than it is to hit the head. The head is harder to get to. Okay, it's harder to get to, and unless you close that distance more effectively and get real closer. But once you get in the medium range, you can land them straight left hands to the body to slow Haney down. And once you land them straight left hands to the body, Joe, it's gonna open up that right hook to the head. It's gonna open up that straight left hand to the head, or that right hook, or that left hook over the top. That short left hook over the top. Lomachenko likes to throw in close quarters, which knocked out that Japanese guy. Okay, I want to see Haney if he could take a punch, that short left hook. Haney likes to throw. I mean, that Lomachenko likes to throw at close quarters. If he gets hit on the chin, I want to see if he could take it. But me, I would target that left hand to the body on Haney, man. Every time I get a chance, just to slow his legs down. Okay, when you hit a guy to the body, Joe, especially a taller guy, you'll see that their legs start freezing up and everything. You know what I mean? They start becoming more of a stationary target. That's when he can start working them angles. Once he freezes his legs, slows him down a little, he gets close enough. That's when he can start working them angles effectively on a Haney and everything. So that's me. I would target that. That body just like Tank Davis did. You know what I mean? To set up the headshots, to soften them up. Okay, to slow that movement down, to take some of that steam off Haney's legs. That's me and everything.
Guys, he's Coach James Gogue. You can listen to him every single Sunday night. I tell you what, Coach, brilliant breakdown, brother. And I tell you what, this fight can't come soon enough. I am excited genuinely after listening to you break down this fight. And I tell you what, we give you a complete pass if you'd like to change your prediction after we find out more this Friday night about who's going to be the ref, when the weigh-in's going to be. We invite you, if you're not too busy, to come on Friday night and discuss this even further. But guys, we're running out of time. But in case you missed any part of the show, you can just rewind it right now, or it'll be available on demand all week. Coach Gogue, thank you so much for your time tonight. We know you're in Mexico City right now, getting some hard sparring done in that high elevation. Can you give us more information on your fighter, or your fighters are going to be on that? Is it going to be what channel is it going to be on? Is it Telefutura or Box Azteca or?
No, it's going to be on TV. It's going to be shown on Mexico on some a sports channel here. Mirror Boxing, the promoter I'm working with now, Manuel Guerra, and his CEO, Mariana Caballero. Great people to work with, man. Real great. Boxing, like I said, man, it's hard to find great, honest people to work with, honest, trustworthy people who can work with that know boxing, okay? All right, and these people are great to work with. They're excellent to work with, man, in fact. And you know me, I don't just work with anybody unless I could trust them. And
that's it.
Yeah, I got my guy Abram Retomoso. He's 14-0, 11 knockouts. Good, real solid prospect from Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. He's developing world-class skills. I'm teaching him. And my other guy, Manuel Rangel. He's 11-0, but 9-0 on BoxRec. 9-0. Real good boxer, tall, rangy, 5'11", good boxer at range and distance. You try to box him at range, he'll box the shit out of you. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to get in close to beat him, but he's slowly becoming a better inside fighter. We can handle these tough pressure fighters in Mexico that he's fighting. Something he didn't have, something both of these guys didn't have. The inside fighting skills that they didn't have when they got here from Colombia. I'm teaching them. Abram knows he don't mind fighting in the trenches. He's becoming a very effective, efficient body puncher. And Manuel is becoming better effectively in the pocket, where he's throwing the combinations I want him to throw, and he's attacking the body more assertively and aggressively. But yeah, them two guys are fighting on this show they're doing here, Mirror Boxing, one of the upcoming boxing promoters in Mexico. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I came up here to get used to that. We train in Leon, Guanajuato, which is 6,000 feet. Now the fights here in Mexico City were a little higher altitude at 7,300. So I brought my guys here early, not only to get great sparring. Oh, they got a lot of great sparring in Manuel Guerra's gym, Mirror Boxing Gym, and the altitude you spar at is full. It's tough, Joe. What do you think? All these. Every time you see a fighter from Mexico, they might not be talented, but they're tough as nails. They're rugged. They're rugged, tough, resilient, high degree of mental intestinal fortitude. Look at all the Mexican fighters that train in this altitude. The champions, Bronco Lara, Navarrete. You know what I mean? Some bad motherfuckers, man. Isaac Cruz. Okay. Okay. There's a reason. When you fight a guy from Mexico City, man, like I said, expect a tough fight because they train in this altitude. So when they go to sea level, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just ask Eddie Hearn what he thinks about the caliber of Mexican toughness.
Oh, he's signing a lot of Mexican fighters now, man. He just signed the guy Sugar Nunez out of Las Mochis, out of the Montiel stable. And he, of course, he signed Bronco Lara. And I guarantee you, any top Mexican fighter he's going to want to sign, because he knows, Mexico is a hotbed for boxing and the fans and everything. And Hispanics in the USA drive boxing. Okay, they're the reason boxing's still relevant. It ain't. You know what I mean? It's a niche sport, but they're the only reason why it's still alive. But that's why I like training here in the high altitude of Mexico City. You know what I mean? I don't mind spending the extra money to get my guys ready because of the great sparring they got. Joe, they got over 200 gyms here, man, and they got a lot of great sparring up here, man. Even the guys, Joe, with not even good records, guys that are club, but in the gym, they'll never be nothing. But god dang, they give you great sparring in the gym. Eddie Futch always told me that, man. I remember Eddie Futch. We were training in Big Bear one time, Big Bear Lake. He brought his whole stable up there: Riddick Bowe, Mike McCallum, Wayne McCullough, all the world champions, Montel Griffin, and he brought these other guys that never were world champions. I'm like, why the hell are you bringing them guys along? He goes, well, you need guys like that. I go, why? He goes, the sparring. He goes, they might not be great. They might not have great records or turn out to be great fighters, but they're great sparring. And I've seen a lot of guys like that, man. I've seen guys like, I can't remember, a guy named, I can't remember his name, man. A guy that used to give fists to everybody in the gym sparring. And his record was like 16-32. De La Hoya was one of them. He used to give fists to De La Hoya when he used to spar him, when De La Hoya was coming up. Yeah, man, Joe. So, like I said, them guys with not that good records, man, they'll help your guy get ready for fights because they're great sparring. But anyway, thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody tuning in. And I hope you guys learned something.
We got what we always do, Coach. And once again, I think I can speak for our very intelligent chat. Yes, that's why they tune in on Sunday. And that's why there are a lot of people in the chat right now for your breakdown. Once again, we want to welcome our brother Peter Von Arx. Thank you for getting Gogue the $20 super chat. Woo, woo, woo. And he says, I'm rooting for Loma.
Thank you.
He also says, by the way, Pitbull rules.
Hey, man.
And by the way, guys, and Gogue and I have an agreement. Any super chat made to this channel during the Gogue show, it goes directly to him to help pay for his training expenses. Okay?
Thank you. Pete. Appreciate it. But thank you, Pete. I appreciate it. But that cruise, he trains in this altitude. He spars in this altitude, man. All right. And like I said, it's thin. The air is real thin up here. Look at the great Salvador Sanchez. The reason why even Felix Tito Trinidad was in an interview, I was watching him a couple weeks ago. His dad fought. His dad, Felix Tito Trinidad Sr. fought Salvador Sanchez, and Felix Tito Trinidad, Jr. was saying that Sanchez was always in great condition. He always trained in the high altitude of Mexico City. That got him in great condition. Yeah. Hey Joe, what do you think them runners from Kenya win the Boston Marathon, the New York Marathon all the time? They train in the high altitude of Kenya, 5,000 feet, I hear. Yeah.
Yep, that would make sense. That would make perfect sense. But thank you once again, Peter Von Arx, for being our brother and supporting Coach Gogue. Tell you what, man, class in session, and you just paid tuition tonight, brother. God bless you, my friend. And thank you for always supporting the coach. Before we go, Coach, hold on. Our brother Sly Tendencies says, Coach Gogue, I always hear that Coach Futch was the best coach ever. Is there any truth to that?
He knows what he's doing. Eddie is a boxing man. Look, man, I met Eddie when I was a young kid. Eddie always took a liking to me, man, because of my enthusiasm for for boxing, when boxing was real. Not only he saw potential in me. He knew when I used to talk boxing a lot, Eddie said, okay, this kid knows what he's doing. He's green still, inexperienced, but he's got, he saw the potential in me, man. He used to tell me that. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I like the enthusiasm. Because, man, look, them old timers back then, they didn't give you a time of day if they thought you were full of shit. If they even sensed that you were full of shit, they would walk away from you Floyd Mayweather, I hear him tell people to fuck off, man. You know, if he knew that guys like Manuel Stewart would politely say, "Hey, thank you very much," and walk away. He was more political.
He'd just walk away from you. Yep.
Yeah, he was more political. But guys like Futch was more political. A guy like Bill Miller, more political. Okay, he would. Dundee. I never talked much boxing about to Dundee. Just hi and bye. Hung out with him. But guys like the great trainers like George Benton. Oh yeah, they know if they know if you had potential, if you knew you were talking about, because when you're sitting down with them and you sit down with them for 2 hours over lunch or dinner, you know what I mean? That means they think something of you. Even though you're still agreeing in experience, they still think, hey man, this guy knows what he's talking about, man. And that's what I remember about them guys back then. Back then, Bill Slayton was a great coach. Jesse Reed, who I learned a lot from. In fact, I got
Jesse Reed, legend.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Eddie Futch. Man, there's so many great coaches I learned so much from over the years, man, and over the years and everything. That you guys heard about these legends, but I've talked to them and been in the gyms with them and everything, man. There's so many of them, man. Joe Goosen, I think, is a real damn good coach and everything. And there's some coaches out there I think are good coaches, but a lot of them are overrated, I think. But anyway.
And Coach, when do you think a head trainer is overrated? When he doesn't cultivate fighters from the ground up?
I think when it's more the talent than it is the fighter. I mean, it's the fighter more than the coach that makes him look good. All right?
You there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you now, sir. Keep going. Yeah,
it's more the talent than the coach. I know one coach, I'm not going to mention his name. He worked with two of the greatest fighters of all time. I'll mention his name. Cristobal Rosas. He trained Salvador, he worked with Salvador Sanchez and Julio Cesar Chavez. Give me a fucking break, man. That's more them guys than him. Okay, after any other fighter. Geez. Okay, look at all the other fighters he worked with. You never heard of them. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, before I let you go, and once again, thanks for your question, Sly. We appreciate you always being here and supporting the coach, my friend. He says this, Funkertees, before you go, Coach, this is huge. Quick question to Coach. If Jack Reese is assigned the position of third man in the ring, would that change your prediction, sir?
The fight would be a real boxing fight, okay? A real professional boxing fight, not an amateur fight, okay, where they referee as soon as you get in the clinches, they break you. That's amateur. Jack Reese, he'll warn you if you excessively hold, and he'll make Haney fight out of the clinches. But I don't think they're going to hire that. I mean, Bill Haney's a sharp guy. He's going to have every factor. He's going to try to get every factor in his favor to make sure his son wins this damn fight. And he knows Bill Haney's a smart guy. He knows if he gets the right ref, and if he gets that weigh-in like he wants, that's going to give his son a huge advantage, okay? A lot of people don't know this shit, man. They don't know boxing, okay? But they don't know that. To me, I know it, man. Come on, man. See this shit over and over.
We love you, Coach. And once again, brother, thank you. And once again, if you have time, we invite you Friday after sparring. Well, or after the weigh-in before sparring.
We'll see.
Come on and talk about it if anything changes. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate you joining the coach tonight. And guys, once again, if you missed any part of this program, it's available on demand all week. And we really hope that Coach makes it back on Friday before the fight. Once again, I'm going to be hosting a weigh-in that afternoon. But as soon as I get back, I would love to share the air with Coach to discuss everything that goes on and discuss the assignments and how the weigh-in plays out. But that's going to just about do it, guys. Coach, any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
No, just hopefully, there's not a lot of mainstream buildup, but in the boxing world, the niche boxing world, a lot of fans are wanting to tune into this fight and everything. So yeah, like I said, Haney, if he wants to be a star, if you're listening, if you want to be a star, winning ain't good enough, baby. You got to look good. And if you go out there like your other fights and just, played it safe to get that 10-9 round every round after round after round. Well, guess what, baby? You're gonna turn off a lot of people that ain't gonna want to pay to see you. Okay. Or your pay-per-view numbers ain't gonna go up. Your popularity ain't gonna go up. Okay. Your marketability ain't gonna go up. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you, Aram is gonna like, you know, it's nice knowing you, son, but I'm not wasting no more money on you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And there it is, guys. He's Coach James Gogue. And boy, I tell you what, Coach, and I'm going to say it again. I've said it so many times throughout our beautiful tenure together. But I will say this again. There is no War Week Radio without your involvement, sir. Thank you. Thank you for every single week in your time and your brain. Never change to please anyone, my friend. But that's going to just about do it, guys. And want to thank you for joining on this beautiful Sunday. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. And don't forget, please text me this Saturday because I really want to know how this plays out. And I cannot wait I can't just wait for the highlights. I want to hear from you guys what you think of the fight. Please text me while I'm on duty doing ring announcing this Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas. We urge all of you to purchase this pay-per-view. Guys, on behalf of the 5-decade fight trainer, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to War Week Radio. Have a great week, everybody.
Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present War Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer James Gogue.